Hey guys, welcome back to my another video. I wanted to introduce myself because not many people necessarily know about me. My name is Sashi. I'm native Japanese, grew up there for the first 20 years of my life. After I moved to Canada to pursue my bachelor degree, and then now I'm working as a software engineer in Europe after working 3 years in Canada. So pretty much I lived abroad outside Japan for past 9 years, but I also lived in Japan for like 20 years-ish. So you could say that I'm a native Japanese going through a Japanese education system, the whole society as a native, and then adapted to non-Japanese cultures after I moved out from Japan. In this video, I'm going to talk about a few things that I wish were different in Japan. I want to specifically give you the insider's views about what I think as native Japanese-born Japanese is cool and not cool. I know a lot of foreigners every single year, I think more than 100,000 people a year, go to Japan, travel. So tourism is pretty huge there, but tourism, living there for like short term, like few months, few weeks, few days, and living there for like over 10, 20 years, going through the actual social systems are completely different things. So I wanted to talk to you guys about, as an insider, what I felt, what many people felt cool versus not cool. And especially I want to focus more on like what I wish were different. And the first thing that come up to my mind after having lived abroad for past 9 years, lived in Canada, United States, New Zealand, Czech Republic, Germany, Europe, and then being able to work internationally in Western companies, I wish, as an insider though, I wish it would have been much easier to be exposed to English language and a culture. So what I mean is that, yes, they teach English from junior high school and high school. So from grade 7 until grade 12, all the way until grade 12, 6 years, they do teach, but it's more for academic ones, not the practical ones. And yes, they do teach English, but how practical are they? How much can they speak? You know, if you go to a city and then try to talk to Japanese in English, how many people can actually, hold conversation with you in English and then like kind of get your points across, like, direction, not just direction, but like about stuff, cultural stuff, or you want to ask about some concepts or stuff like that. I have to say that a lot of factors come into play when it comes to this language skill thing. It's not just how long they teach English, but also the delta of two languages is so big. Japanese to English, it's quite a big, grammar-wise, sentence structure-wise, it's completely opposite. Characters are different, right? So I like to compare this with like Swedish people, Norwegians, Danish, Dutch people, because they can speak pretty good English. But let me tell you, because I have had kind of conversation about this, comparing this with the Germany, Japan, and then Swedish, Norwegians. Those Scandinavian countries and Norwegians are Dutch. The size of economy is so small, population is so small, it's kind of like almost like a village. So the economy cannot support their own language in terms of these subtitles for movies or songs. They don't even have enough manpower or money to be able to subtitle all the movies. So they just throw the English versions there. Music, movies, TV dramas. So that's how English culture, entertainment flow into their cultures. With Japan and Germany and French, let's say Japan, Germany, the size of the economy is pretty huge compared to, let's say, Norwegians or Dutch, right? Japan is like currently number 4, like 4th biggest economy in the entire world, I guess, or 3rd, I'm not sure. So they have everything subtitled. They have everything translated to Japanese. It's kind of like everything translated into German, French. Because German, French, Japanese, all these countries are so proud of their own language and cultures, and also size of economy is so huge, population is much, much bigger. Not France, but like Germany, Japan, especially Japan. So not many English things flow into Japanese cultures. And because of that, and on top of that, with the first fact that I mentioned, which is the delta difference of 2 languages, completely different compared to like German and Germanic to Latin and Anglo-Saxon English. We had a little to no opportunities to really expose ourselves and get familiarize ourselves to English. Practically impractical in Japanese society to learn, and that created a lot of friction in terms of like my learning curve, because first time I moved to Canada, yes, I have already studied English for like 6, 7, 8 years, but have I had any English speaking friends? None. My cousins are half American and half Japanese. They speak fluent native English and then almost native Japanese, but they're far away. They were like western side of Japan. So excluding that, do we even have, you know, English speaking friends in high school or junior high school? None, zero, nada, right? Think about that. So it's nearly impossible to practice with somebody else because their friends all Japanese, speaking Japanese. So that was pretty tough transition from Japan to Canada. Not just language, but the little jokes, humors, nuances, you know, the way they communicate, the demeanor as well, the body language, and a whole like being sarcastic, being funny, or being like, teasing. We cannot tell that if you are teasing or being sarcastic, because that requires higher intelligence and awareness about nuance and humor to break down and understand about those sub-communication. So it took me a while to really understand more than just know the syntactical correctness of the language, but also semantic meanings like jokes and humors. So that's one thing that I wish I had growing up in Japan, but it's nearly impossible. This is a pretty huge setbacks for Japanese people. Pretty huge. Another thing is like, so we kind of envy those well-spoken Dutch, Danish, Swedish, Norwegians, or even German. They can speak pretty good English, and then we wonder why they can do that. But we don't know. We are stuck in such a unique place where only one language spoken in country is Japanese, whereas in like Netherlands, it's like always like English is everywhere, same as in Germany, English is everywhere. Sweden and Norway, I think in Norway, or Sweden as well probably, they teach subjects in English. Japan, that's never gonna happen. Everything's gonna be Japanese, you know. So we were so used to this way of doing things that we are so surprised and impressed that when Swedish, Norwegians, and non-English people can speak English so well. Because from us, it's kind of mystery, a miracle. But we don't take into consideration about such a huge difference between Japanese and English, and also this such an isolation from different whole cultures. Japan, island it is. So that's the thing. You know, I talked a pretty details in depth about this language thing, but other thing is the you know, the whole communication styles, the eye contact and the confidence, and be able to speak up about our opinions. So guys, if you're in North America, then you do like debate maybe, or you are asked to state your own opinions. We Japanese are not asked to state our own opinions. We are not really assigned for like essays to write our own stuff. Our education system is really focused on memorization of facts, not the statement, expression, or critical thinking. So we severely lack critical thinking education system, and that's the reason why Asian people in general are not good at debating or how to talk about or public speaking, because we are completely lacking that aspect in education. So when I went to Canada, first time, and then worked at companies, internships, and then after I worked in at Canadian companies, it's like whole different things. Being outspoken is considered not so good in Japan, considering the seniority systems there. Kind of you can think about German hierarchical system where some traditional German companies value seniority in a hierarchy. So it's less flat than you can think about super flat kind of a culture, company cultures in like West Coast and like Silicon Valley. It's completely opposite. In Japan, it's like seniority based, hierarchical. So I wasn't trained to speak up my mind precisely, correctly, eloquently. We don't have any opportunities to practice about our public speaking skills. So when I face when I need to talk about certain things with coworkers, the way we carry ourselves, the way we talk, this is pretty important. Body language and sub-communications. You need to, you can exude inconfidence or confidence or low self-esteem or self-deprecation, and this self-deprecation is Japanese culture, which I hate. This is not globally convertible at all. It is, in fact, if you're in a global setting, this self-deprecation is going to set you back more often than not. I know there's some virtue in self-deprecation or humbleness, but humbleness and self-deprecation should be treated differently. And Japanese people just go overboard on self-deprecating themselves. And we are trained to believe that virtue is in self-deprecation, meaning, oh, we are not good enough. We are just a servant. We are, serving you, a company, and blah, blah, blah. We need to use certain phrases to explain or describe ourselves using those self-deprecating sentences in Japanese language, companies, interviews, and whatnot. This set me back so much, because we didn't have that concept of confidence, self-confidence. Almost we were taught through implicit social rules that confidence is kind of toxic, like toxic masculinity or toxic femininity, whatever the fuck that's going on in modern society. In Japan, confidence was considered toxic. It was considered arrogant, it was considered self-centered, and you are not team player. So whole different kind of stigma associated with personal self-confidence. And the more you deprecate yourself, the better. It's kind of fucked up. So you might wonder, how do you get evaluated for your own performance fairly and equally? Well, you don't. It's based on your your status, reputation among other people in this seniority based or hierarchical structures in your company. So it's a lot about politicking with people to navigate yourself through the people to climb up the corporate ladder. I'm not saying this is the complete absolute truth, but a lot about truth in it. Of course, it's different from more scientific and laboratory jobs, but if you're in the sales, maybe different. But if you're in a business and consulting, in the or the traditional companies, then it's not so much about technical skills. And this is what I hated the most. Yeah, the self-deprecating stuff really messed up my mind about how I carry this kind of like a guilt about being confident, because I was always like checking myself, like, oh, am I being overconfident? Am I being a little bit arrogant? Or am I being like a little bit too selfish about standing up for myself? And this, now you might be able to understand why Japanese people tend to be like so soft-spoken and so agreeable and so bent over and like yes, yes, yes. And it's kind of known, Japanese people are known to be yes men. And there's even pretty famous book, direct translation, the book title is called The Japanese Who Cannot Say No. So yeah, I'll just leave this at it right now here. I'll let you guys think and comment, share your opinions in the comment section. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this? I just shared with you guys some kind of pretty in-depth insider's views and what I noticed and what I observed and what I didn't like about, and especially made a transition from Japanese to Western culture, society, and professional world. I've noticed a lot about I need to work a lot on those stuff, those outstanding stuff, setbacks, confidence, English, how to talk, critical thinking as well, the communication thing. If I had these skills, from the beginning, then probably I would have had much better social communication skills, people, a lot of like social awareness about how we communicate, how we communicate our emotions and intentions. And because of this setbacks, I felt like I think I missed a little bit of opportunity windows to like make friendships or have some conversation about stuff. Yeah, it's insider's views. I don't really think about this stuff anymore because this is only for you guys, for videos, trying to like come up, kind of do a reflection in the past, and I tried to bring up some aspects that I thought about it a long time ago, because now it's almost non-existent, so I don't even think about it. But as an insider, I think it's pretty cool to kind of bring up this native's perspective about Japan from inside, because Japan is a pretty mysterious country, even to me still. So yeah, with that said, let me know what you thought about this video and what I said, few topics, comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao ciao, have a good day, bye bye.